In this video, I'm going to show you how to graft or Kitchener stitch in Garter. It's slightly different than stockinette, so I'll show you how to do it. To start with, number one, with grafting you need the same number of stitches on each needle. But for Garter, there's another rule, something that you need to have set up for your fabric to come out correctly. You need to have one piece where a purl row has been worked. Well, with Garter, you're knitting every row, so that simply means the last row worked was a wrong side row. This is the right side of my fabric. I worked a wrong side row, so when I look at it from the right side, there is a line of purl stitches showing. And the other piece of fabric has to have a knit row as the last row worked. So a right side row was the last row worked. So a row of knit stitches is what is presenting on the right side of this piece. You then hold your swatches with the wrong sides facing and with the purl stitches presenting to you. So that's how I have these, and I'm going to use a contrasting color strand as my seaming thread. But ideally in your finished item you would use just a tail from one of the swatches or the same colored yarn or your same working yarn to work this seam. So to start, there's a setup step that has to happen, just like with regular Kitchener in stockinette. So the setup steps here are on your front needle, the first stitch you insert, so I've got thread on my needle, you insert your needle into the first stitch on the front needle as if to purl, and you leave that stitch on the needle. And then you move to the back needle and you do the same thing. You insert your needle into that purl stitch as if to purl, and you pull through. I'm going to leave this kind of loose to start with, and I will tighten it up at the end to make it match the tension of the rest of my knitting. So that's the setup step done. Now the repeating steps are insert as if to knit on the front needle and drop that stitch off, and then insert as if to purl and leave that stitch on. And then it's the exact same move on the back. As if to knit, drop off, as if to purl, and leave on. And so on. So as if to knit, drop off, as if to purl, leave on. It's a big mess, but as if to knit, drop off, as if to purl, pull through. And it's important to keep your seaming thread under these needles so that you don't accidentally create a yarn over and whatnot. And it can get messy since you're working loosely. There we go. Okay, so I came from the back last, so now I'm going to go in the front as if to knit, and then as if to purl. As if to knit, and then as if to purl. As if to knit, and then as if to purl. Oops, as if to knit, and then as if to purl. all the way across. See, underneath. Just a few more stitches left. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. Then when you get to the last 2 stitches, one on each needle, knit, purl like this, and then knit, and then purl, you will simply knit those both off. So knit on the front and knit on the back. And because I worked loosely, it is not at the tension that would look best, but I can go. This is too tight. There. So the goal is to make the stitches, so I'll start from the center and go out, the row of grafting stitches to be the same size as the base fabric, as all your other rows, so that it looks seamless. So I just go stitch by stitch across, getting them my desired size. So in long strands it can be slightly tedious, but the results are worth the effort. And I might play around with that a little more to get it perfectly even, but that gives you an idea. And so if this was in the gray thread yarn, it would be in an invisible seam. So you can see this row originates as knit stitches, and it loops up with this row of purl stitches, and it makes a seamless garter graft. So that is Kitchener or Garter, or grafting in Garter. And that's it. Thanks for watching.